My name is Craig Miles, and today I will be talking about the effects of global warming and how we can all come together and do our part in stopping this problem and keeping our Earth healthy. You likely have heard about global warming in the news, at school, or from a friend. So you probably have questions such as, what is causing global warming and what role do humans play in global warming? Also, you might wonder, what's the science behind global warming? Well, according to widely cited research, more than 97% of climate research agrees that the planet has been warming during the past several decades, and that the warming is overwhelming and caused by the result of human activities. This conclusion is also shared by the US's most respected scientific organization, the National Academics of Science, and by its counterpart organizations worldwide. They figure out the cause behind rising global temperatures. Scientists start with what is known. And what is known? They know that the Earth is getting warmer. Scientific evidence that the planet is warm, and that they have a long known that the greenhouse gases warm Earth's atmosphere. They know too that humans emit large quantities of these same heat traps gases, mostly imported including carbon dioxide, by burning fossil fuels and releasing it into the atmosphere. Well, there's still more to know. Here's our simple definition of global warming. And yes, it is really happening. Over time, about 50 years, the average global temperature has increased at a faster rate than recorded history. And experts see this trend is escalating. All but one of the 16 hottest years in NASA, 134 recorded have occurred since 2000. Climate change deniers have argued that there has been a pause or a slowdown in rising global temperatures, but several recent studies have included as 2015 paper published in the Journal of Sciences have dissolved that the claims that scientists say that unless the curb global warming emissions average up, U.S. temperature could increase by up to 10 degrees Fahrenheit over the next century. What causes global warming? Global warming occurs when carbon dioxide, or CO2, is transmitted or emitted into the air, and others are air pollution and greenhouse gases collected in the atmosphere are absorbed into sunlight and solar radiation that have bounced off the Earth's surface. Normally, this radiation would escape into the space, but there's pollutions, which last to 4 years. The centuries in the atmosphere trap the heat and cause the planet to get hotter. That's what's known as greenhouse effect. In the U.S., the burning of fossil fuel is making electricity the largest source of heat trapping pollution, producing about 2 billion tons of CO2 every year, and coal and burning power plants are by far the biggest pollutants. The country's second largest source of carbon pollution is the transportation sector, which generated about 1.7 billion tons of CO2 emits a year. What we can do, or what is known about it, is global warming is increasing the Earth's average surface temperature due to the greenhouses. The Environment Protection Agency, or EPA, has both the authority and responsibility to reduce pollution from electric power plants under the Clean Air Act, the nation's bedrock air pollution law adopted in 1970. Since 1870, global sea levels have risen by about 8 inches. Global climate change has also had an observed effect on the environment. Glaciers have shrunk, ice on rivers and lakes is breaking earlier than it should be, not even in its season. Plants and animals range over have shifted, and trees are falling sooner. Heat waves caused by global warming presents greatest risk of heat-related illnesses and death, most frequently among people who live and have diabetes. who are elderly or who are very young. According to the U.S. Global Change Research Program, the temperature in the U.S. has increased by 2 degrees in the last 50 years, and perceptions has increased by 15. Global warming has put coral reef in danger, and the oceans warms. Scientists fear that the coral reefs will not be able to adapt quickly enough to the resulting change in the conditions, and bleaching incidents and diseases will increase. So what we can do to stop this problem is help the earth. Think about it. While you're throwing that piece of trash out of the car while you're driving, thinking that it's nothing, it is something. It is still something getting tossed onto our environment, into our world. In simplest fact, it can be anything. That same paper that you, or it could be a 8-pack plastic wrap for like Gatorade and stuff like that. You throw it out of your car, and next thing you know, it rains, it pours, or sprinkler system, something, it can travel into a sewer. Once it hits the sewer, then it can travel into the ocean. And now that plastic and/or paper that you thought would do no harm is now in the ocean, affecting animals, coral reefs, and other important environmental things that we should also take care of in our world and on Earth. And the problem is that people are not taking it serious. There's huge evidence that people are not conforming to the problem that we're having with pollution. There's so much evidence showing that pollution is happening with summers being cold and winters being hot, snow, places that rarely get snow having snow, places that would have snow getting rain instead of snow in the wintertime. These are all problems and things that we see, yet we turn a blind eye to, and that we really should take a time to look at. If you really sit there and believe that there is not any pollution and that the world is only being caused by this by government and that it's an inside job and conspiracies, then I feel bad for you, because that is not the case. You really gotta put some time into it and think about it. We can only get our earth better and keep it thriving if we take the charge and the initiative ourselves. So what I'm asking you is, what can we do? What can we do? What can we do? We can start by recycling. We can start by turning off electricities. We can start by making sure that we keep a close eye on ourselves and aware that the life that we're living is not just one life, but it's just a moment in a bunch of people's lives, because we're all just a segment in another person's life.